The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues. Three friends go quad bike riding deep in the heart of the Australian outback. They decide to wash off in the Finnis River, unaware of the predator lurking beneath the murky waters. A sudden splash shatters their peaceful evening. Panic sets in as a monstrous crocodile launches from the water, jaws agape. With nowhere else to swim, they scramble for safety, the gnarled branches of a tree becoming their only refuge. They could have never prepared themselves for the terror that would happen next. It began like any other weekend trip. Three mates, Shaun Blowers, Ashley McGough, and Brett Mann, set off on their quads for a day of exploring near an abandoned tin mine beside the Finnis River. They spent hours riding and spraying each other with the mud that would fling off the quad bike tires. Covered in mud from head to toe, they decided to wash themselves off in the river. But when approaching the river's edge, they noticed it was flooded. Water spilling over the edge made it hard to tell where the river met the land. For a split second, they wondered if it was even safe to go near the water's edge, but they knew this area well, having been there many times before. The three men met the edge of the water. It was black, making it impossible to see beneath the surface. Shaun and Ashley started washing the mud off their bodies when they heard a splash. Brett had lost his footing and fell in, and was being pulled down the river by the strong current. Shaun and Ashley wasted no time. They ran up the shore to get in front of Brett, then leaped in to save their friend. They swam as hard as they could toward Brett. They were in mere feet of their friend when suddenly the water erupted beside them. Ashley looked over and saw a monstrous 13-foot crocodile. He started screaming out, "Croc, Croc, get out of the water, Croc!" They swam to a nearby tree that was protruding out of the water and climbed up to safety. But when they turned to look down, Brett was not climbing the tree behind them. They immediately started calling out for him, hoping he made it to shore. Suddenly they saw him. It was their worst nightmare. The croc had Brett by the shoulder and had taken him underwater. 2 minutes passed and there was no sign of Brett. But then the croc surfaced. There in its mouth was Brett's lifeless body. The croc brought his body to the base of the tree as if to show it off as some sort of trophy. It just sat there with Brett in its mouth, then minutes later disappeared under the water again. Shaun and Ashley could only watch as their friend was taken by the giant croc. There was nothing they could do. As darkness fell, a new battle began. The relentless crocodile circled the tree, while exhaustion and fear gnawed at the hearts of the two friends. Every rustle in the leaves, every ripple in the water sent shivers down their spines. They were not out of the danger yet. Although being out of the reach of the giant 13-foot croc, other risks were still a factor. They had to stay awake all night. They couldn't risk falling asleep and falling into the water. The water raising would also be a problem, considering they were only a few feet from the water's surface, and it was the rainy season. It was pitch black. The two men couldn't even see each other, but more concerning, they couldn't see the raising water or the croc. Although they couldn't see the croc, they knew it was there. It would splash the water every now and then, letting them know it was still there. The only thing they could do was sit there and wait to be saved, or fall in the water from exhaustion and be eaten alive. Just as Shaun and Ashley started to lose hope, the sun shimmered its light over the horizon. They made it to morning. But their hope was quickly taken away when they looked down and saw the croc was still there. It was staring straight at them. Its eyes pierced their souls. The two young men were unaware that the police had found their quad bikes the night they went missing and knew the area they were in, but had not located Shaun or Ashley. It was getting too dark to see them. The search was put on hold until morning. Finally, rescue searched the area where the bikes were. Not far, the two men were found holding on for dear life. Exhausted, a few scrapes and bruises, but they were okay. The nightmare was over. The water was so high and full of giant crocs, Shaun and Ashley had to be airlifted by helicopter. They may have survived the night, but the sight of that giant croc will haunt their dreams forever.